Welcome back to the Peugeot. We are here again. Now if you saw my short, you'll know that the roof has decided to stop working, which was not something we had anticipated because it worked perfectly fine when we got the car, and then for some reason it has just packed up. Now there's no error codes, no warnings or anything, so I got a copy of the wiring diagram and sent it over to my good friend Aaron, who had a look at it, and we think we may have found the issue, which I will now show you. So in the boot of the Peugeot there is these two latches, and within those two latches are a pair of switches, micro switches, which sit in here at the back. Cable runs up here and then joins on to this little plug. Now on this side it's still behind all the trim, so I can't show you, but we tested the switch on that side, which is in there, and it gave good signal of turning on and off. The switch that is in here, which is the third boot switch, works okay because when you try and do the roof with the boot open, it tells you the boot is open. But this switch in here didn't do anything. It didn't open and close or react in any way. So Peugeot wanted £122 for a new switch. Quick search on AliExpress, got a switch for a £5. Aaron very kindly is soldering it onto the original wires which have been tested, so we can plug it back into this, and hopefully that'll have the roof working. Now the other job I want to get done in this video is putting a new flexi pipe on, because the other one leaks so bad you can see carbon deposits or black deposits either side of it at the end. But I will, once the car is up in the air in the workshop, I will show you more. So welcome to the underside of the Peugeot. It is a bit tatty under here, but this car was made in 2007. So it's kind of to be expected to be a cruddy under here really. This is part of the problem. The gap there, and on the other side of here there's a gap. Lots of excess joint compound, exhaust joint compound, which need to clean that up. The flexi itself is actually in pretty decent condition. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than this. This doesn't look very old, but the joint itself has got, won't focus, but there's a gap all the way around here. But this exhaust, in its entirety, is relatively new. Now this joint looks alright up here. This pipe is clean. It's not done many miles by the look of it. A little bit of a dent, but other than that, looks alright. Pretty rusty under here and dirty, but there's nothing major. The wishbone that I put on, new drop links through there. There's a new spring, can't quite see it, but there is one up there. Changed gearbox oil. But yeah, let's get these joints remade and see if we can get rid of our leak. So this is the eBay assured fit part, which, as you can see, is a lot bigger, and it doesn't have that bit here, this extra piece of pipe, but also this joint is flared, not like that. Anyway, let's carry on. So this may not be the right way to do it, but I went about raking out the dried up old compound. I didn't want to take the exhaust completely apart because the joints themselves are pretty solid, and I just wanted to seal up the leaks. So there we go, cleaned up this part of the pipe. Yeah, can't get all of this off, but anyway, it looks cleaner than it was. Put a lot of compound in here. In under here was quite a big gap. The same on this side, but this is a lot harder to get to. Same thing here, raked it out a bit, put a decent amount of compound in there so that it's now actually sealed. And also while I was under here, I noticed this joint, this clamp wasn't actually done up. You might have seen me in the video just spinning it up, because this was, the gap between these two was really wide, so this clamp wasn't very tight at all. And also the compound in here, just to seal it up. I don't think it was blowing from there, but anyway, better safe than sorry. Whilst under here, I have discovered this. This car makes lots of knocks and bangs, and apparently these are quite noisy cars because it's convertible. I don't really know why, but I think that's one of the things that adds to it. But this is not going to be helping, so I need to try and find one of these. I'm sure this is the sort of thing my dad has in the garage, in the workshop. So I'm going to have a rummage around, see if I can find a replacement, try and get that out. I don't really know how that's going to work. So I can get one job done at least. So as I said earlier in this video, this car's a little bit noisy, but I noticed this heat shield was loose. So I put a washer on and one of these little retaining washers. So I hope that's now solid. And also here, there was another bit. This was all flapping down. So I put a couple of retaining washers on there as well. So hopefully that will reduce some of our noise that we have. But now it's time to drop the car down and have a look at the switch for the roof. So we're working on the boot, trying to put this switch back in up here. This is the switch. mounted on the bracket that it goes on. There's a little spring that activates the switch. As I said, Aaron very kindly soldered a resistor in there and has jointed this onto the original Peugeot wiring. So let's see how we get on putting it back in there. So after I found the right rivet gun for the tiny rivets that needed to put this switch back in its right place, I set about mounting it back and making it all straight and secure. Quite pleased with how it turned out because it's only the second time I've ever used a rivet gun. Okay, so what I've been doing is switch is riveted in place and this cable now is riveted in place. This is a bit loose because I don't have the right size rivet, but I'm hoping it will hold it in place for in terms of being able to test this out and see how we get on. I might have to go back to find another one, put something else in there to hold that still, but I think once it's actually bolted up back in place it should be okay. So that's what I'm going to do, get it bolted up and give it a test. So we're in the Peugeot, I've just started it up. I've got a 40 fog lamp. Windows are all down, that works. And this is now I've held the button down. I got roof movement not complete, but then we've done it! We actually fixed something. You joined me from a Peugeot with no roof on it. It has actually worked. Massive thank you to Aaron for sorting out that switch, soldering in the resistor and just connecting it up for me. I put it all back together. We have no roof, we've got a convertible car again. Just in time. You can't see it, but it's raining again. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We've partially sorted the exhaust, so there may be another exhaust video. The car needs a good clean inside and out and a good polish. Probably a T-cut, mate, or like a cutting compound with polisher, so I'm going to do that next. Would love to get up to 20 subscribers. I'm at 19 at the moment, so that would be amazing if I could do that. But yeah, thanks all for watching. I'm now not going to enjoy my convertible car because it's raining. I look forward to some sunshine. See you all later.